Today I'm going to review the EMAX Eco motor. These are the 1700 kV 2306 motors, and I'm going to put it on my trusty 6-inch QAV clone. I've got it with a run cam split, the GPS set up for GPS rescue. These are my old motors. I just had EMAX red bottoms. They were 2205, 2300 kV, and used to take them out pretty long range, about a mile or so, and would usually hover somewhere between 8.5 to 9 amps. Well, since we're going down a little bit, we're going to go ahead and see how these things stack up. And this is my setup in here, just a little Omnibus F4. These are all cheapies, and that Racer Star ESC. And I don't know why, but I like to put the wires in the top like that. Kind of looks like a V12 to me, just kind of stupid. But I'm going to be using the same props that I actually just pulled off of those red bottoms, and I'm going to take it out and fly it and see what we see as far as amp draw for hover and cruising, and see if we get any extra flight time just by stepping down in kV. Now, these red bottoms did seem to be quite a bit heavier than these open bottom Ecos. But again, I'm letting EMAX do its stuff, and we're going to see how it does with those props and those new motors. And hopefully maybe it's a little bit smoother, because when I turn those motors by hand, they sure seem smooth and silent compared to those red bottoms. Now I went back and I compared some of my old run cam split footage, the old motor sounds basically, as compared to the current motor sounds, and they are a little bit quieter. I think most of the noise that's going to be coming in through the split is going to be the wind noise, and then the props actually splitting the air. But it is a little bit quieter than it was. So usually quiet means less vibration, which means maybe a little bit better flight envelope. Also, they look to be a little bit more smooth than the red bottoms. I'm not seeing the amount of jello. I mean, this particular quad and that run cam split V1 really doesn't have a whole lot of jello anyway, but I'm not seeing it here. Now, I will say that there's a lot more cloud cover than some of the days that I have been seeing the jello in the run cam split on this particular quad. So it might be something to do with the fact that it's a darker day, so camera's not having to work as hard, so you're not seeing that jello, and that the shutter speed, kind of adjusting the shutter speed for it. So it could be just the cloud cover that's causing the lack of jello. I'll be running this again in a bright sunshiny day that we get here in Texas pretty often, so I'll be able to verify that. But right now this footage looks pretty jello free at this point, so I'm pretty happy, and I'm just going to let it run here, and then at the end I'll take a look at basically at the hover point and how many amps it pulls at hover, and we'll kind of compare. Again, the red bottoms would usually do it between 8.5 to 9 amps, usually bouncing more into the 9 category, but we'll take a look here and we'll see how this thing does. Now this is where the EMAX AVAN props are supposed to be in their sweet spot, that straight line flight at about, you know, 50 miles an hour, 45 to 50 miles an hour. And we can take a look here at the amp draw, so you know you can judge for yourself whether or not that would actually be a viable long-range machine with these particular props, these motors, and a 4S battery. Yeah, I don't know. You'd probably have to go with a lot bigger battery to reach out and touch someone, but anyways, just an interesting little tidbit about those AVAN props too. So all in all, got about a 6-minute flight on a 1500 battery, so pretty good. And as we can see from the DVR footage there, looks like she hovers right on around 8 amps, maybe a little bit more, so looks like it might be just a skosh more efficient than those red bottoms.